I'm pretty sure we're at a point in all of our lives where we've had some form of sex education. Whether that was an awkward presentation given by a gym coach at school, a sit down with your parent or parents discussing the birds and the bees, or even just curious questions thrown around with your peers once hormones and puberty started coming into play. But during all of these instances, did the topic of contraceptives ever get brought up? Well, whether it did or didn't, today I will be informing the audience about the importance of addressing and using birth control. So why is birth control so crucial to sex education? Well, birth control has the potential of preventing unplanned pregnancies when used, and understanding the benefits of birth control and then sharing this knowledge with those who are unaware is essential to all individuals because everyone needs to know this type of information in their lives. And so today I will be covering 3 main points about birth control, and that is communicating about sex and birth control, knowing the different preventative options that are out there, and then the benefits of not having an unplanned pregnancy. So beginning with my first point, communicating about sex and birth control. And so experts Cheryl Somers and Amy Sherman, both professors at the Wayne State University, claim that education about sexuality does not come from a single source. And so this means adolescents and young individuals are prone to hearing about sex, whether that is at school, from their peers, from social media, or even in their own household. But hearing about something and being taught about something are two totally different things. And so what Amy and Cheryl further claim is that the big conversational issue regarding sex and birth control is the simple fact that American society is so heavily discomforted by the topic of sex and birth control, and they don't want to bring it up. And so what this attitude hinders is not only the child, but it impacts their sexual outcomes, because if they don't know right from wrong, then how are they supposed to know what they should be using in order to prevent the negative outcomes that come along with having sex? And so what professors Sharon Thompson and Associate Professor John Yanessa, both from the Department of Health Services at the Coastal Carolina University, claim is that by creating a higher parental connectedness, this creates a better quality communication. And so by creating this open atmosphere for discussion, it not only delays the chances of young people engaging in sexual activities, but it sheds light on the different preventative measures that are out there that they should be using in case they do engage in these activities. And so this brings me to my next point, the different preventative options that are out there. And so Cecile Richards, author from the New England Journal of Medicine, states that by increasing access to all forms of birth control, whether that is the pill, the shot, the female and male condoms, IUDs, intrauterine devices, or the hormonal implant, that by increasing access to all of these, it allows women to choose a method that not only works best for her body, but also for her lifestyle. And so what Cecile further states is that the big issue regarding birth control is finding which method works right for each different person. And so when a woman finds a method that she is happy with, not only will she use this appropriately, but she will use it consistently, further delaying and reducing her chances of having an unplanned pregnancy, because if she's using whichever method correctly, well, then it significantly lowers the chances of having a baby. And so what senior fellows Ron Haskins and Isabel Sawhill conclude, out of all methods of birth control, the most effective option is LARCs, which is an acronym that stands for long-acting reversible contraception. And this includes the IUDs, intrauterine devices, which are implanted vaginally, and the hormonal implant, which is a device that is typically implanted subdermally, oftentimes in the arm. And so not only are these the most effective methods, but they have the chance of significantly reducing the chances of unplanned pregnancies and abortion rates, which leads me into my final point, the benefits of not having an unplanned pregnancy. And so Ron Haskins and Isabel Sawhill further state that by using birth control, it delays a woman from childbearing until she is in a relationship with a partner that is stable. And so the issue with bringing a child in this world is that young people are typically in unsteady relationships and they typically don't stay together. And so when this occurs, this not only harms the child, but it harms the parents, because women typically go on to live in poverty once they split up from their significant other or partner, and men go on to have to pay financial support. And so this impacts the child's healthy development based off of the parents' unsteady relationship. And so in conclusion, the conversation about sex may be discomforting, but it is necessary. And then there are many options of birth control that exist and that are accessible. And then finally, using birth control can prevent unwanted outcomes that people are not ready to face. So I leave you with one final statement. And what do we face in the world if the topic of birth control is not normalized? And what society will probably look like is there will probably be a drastic increase in abortions, whether they are safe or unsafe, because people are not ready to combat that level of responsibility, and so they would rather take that option. Or there's the other option of going through and having the baby and then having to put them into foster care, which we already know the system is pretty broken and no child should have to go there, especially if they are brought into a household where people are ready to have them. And so with that, thank you.